Hey everybody, Nick Boettcher here, Nick Boettcher Music from my office in Austin, Texas. Hello. Today I thought I would talk about how to practice. There's tons of information on songs that you can learn. Everything can be tabbed out. You can buy books, you can look up tutorials online, you can watch YouTube videos. But a lot of that is missing is how do you approach it? What do you focus on first? And how do you keep your practicing efficient so that you can learn the songs that you want to learn. So I came up with a little initial list of things I like to keep in mind when I'm practicing to better my practice time. So here's my list. Number one, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I actually had a student who was a state trooper in Illinois, and I was explaining this process and he kind of laughed and went, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. It's a mantra that they said when he was going through the academy, and I told him, like, I'm taking that. That's great. So what that means is when you're practicing, you want to go as slow as you need to do it right. So when you go fast, when you're trying to go fast, it creates tension. It creates tension in your hand, in your arm, in your shoulder, and you're working to play. And if you work to play, you can't move nearly as quickly. I also usually say, you don't work the guitar, you play the guitar. So we want to stay as relaxed as possible. And by staying relaxed, you actually get from point A to point B much faster. And when you go fast, it doesn't feel like you're going fast. There's not that tension. It's just you're just there. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Number two, your hand remembers whatever you've done the most amount of times. What that means is if you're practicing a lick, or whatever it may be, you're practicing a lick, and you stumble through it a bunch of times, and then you do it, and you finally get it, you get it right a couple times, the mistakes you make will outweigh the playing it correctly. So what you want to do is take that time, instead of taking your time to stumble through it a bunch of times, slow yourself down. There's no rush to get through it. You're training the muscle memory of your hand, and once the muscle memory has it, it'll take over. It'll just do it for you. But you have to just take your time getting through it, and it doesn't take that long. You got to stay patient, take a deep breath. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Your hand only remembers whatever you've done the most amount of times. So take your time through it, and if you play that passage slowly, say 5 times in a row, and you play it perfectly 5 times in a row, you are way more likely to have it really within your vocabulary than if you kind of stumble through it a bunch of times and you get it right a couple times. So it's a great practicing tool to outweigh the correct times versus not correct times. And just start off by doing it slow and doing it right, and you'll have it way faster than you might think. It actually makes for a fast process. All right, number 3. It's always easier to change directions once you're moving. And this is something my mother always used to tell me. Just to pick a direction and go with it. What this means for practicing is that if you're worried about practicing something wrong, play it anyway. No matter what, if you're playing, you're building your fine motor skills. And if you're worried about about playing this lick, this riff, this rhythm wrong, your technique is wrong, don't worry about it. As long as you're playing, you're doing it right, which is actually number 4. As long as you're playing, you're doing it right. 3 and 4 really latch into each other, just like 1 and 2 do. So as long as you're playing, you're doing it right. It's always easier to change directions once you're in motion. Your hand remembers only whatever you've done the most amount of times. And slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So, one more time on the list here. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Your hand only remembers whatever you've done the most amount of times. It's always easier to change directions once you're in motion. And as long as you're playing, you're doing it right. So relax, enjoy yourself, have fun. Get the tension out of the way. Just focus on one little thing. Do it right. Do it right as many times in a row as you can. Take a deep breath And as long as you're playing, you're doing it right. Thank you. Hope you enjoy.